Yeah, so we were talking about dynamic blocks. Let me explain it from scratch. So here there is a resource called as AWS security group, and inside that we have a dynamic block which is called as ingress. And so basically ports is a list which has around three values. In this case, let's take 22, 80 and 443 is passed. So in the first case, the value of ports is 22. So ingress of value 22 will be assigned as the from port, 22 again will be assigned as the to port, and these values are by default the same. The second iteration it will be 440, it will be 80. So this time these two values, ingress dot value will be assigned as 80, this will also be assigned as 80, and these two values will be as it is. So the same process continues, and this is the final values that will be set for ingress. So first time ingress would be this value, an ingress of this, and an ingress of this. Three values will be sent to resources will be created. So when you, it's like a loop and you're passing certain values, and that value which we are setting it up will be defined for that variable. So now that we talked about the word ingress and egress, I think we just need to understand what it means as well. So ingress in simple terms means incoming traffic. So to a VM, when a client tries to access a VM or tries to access your application, that is an incoming traffic, that is called ingress. Now this application might be calling some external service to get some tasks done. So that is called as the outgoing traffic. So traffic that is going from the VM or the application to outside is called as egress. In AWS, ingress is used as a very common term for an inbound rule which we refer to in Azure. So in Azure, inbound rules are specified used to define and control what all incoming traffic can come into that network, right? Um, so in AWS, for inbound rule we call it as ingress. So it's the same word, and the meaning is also very similar, but we are just specifying that the same word is used for this purpose also in AWS. The last thing to understand about is what is Azure RM, what is AZ API, and what is AVM. Three of them are different in, and the context is also different, but let's understand them in detail. So first of all, Azure RM is a provider in Azure. So in Azure there are so many different providers we can use, to which will give us resources to create. Or let me just take it in a simple way. So every Terraform code, it needs to be converted into an API call which is sent to the Azure Resource Manager for that resource to get created. So to translate this Terraform code into an API call, we can use multiple different providers. One such provider is Azure RM. Other one is AZ API. So it's an alternative to Azure RM itself. So what both of them do is the same thing, converting your Terraform code into an API call to the Azure Resource Manager. So it uses Azure REST APIs like create, read, update, and delete resources to create resource to do something into the cloud. AC API is usually used for accessing newer resources which is not yet supported by Azure RM. So calling any Azure ARM or bicep templates from Terraform. Is what AZ API does. Usually we make use of Azure AZ API when you want the latest features which is not available in Azure RM and you're using custom API or preview features.